boys and girls. I'm back with chapter 14. It's called Journey Home. It's a really short chapter. Remember, they were trying to get away from the shroud, the old quarry. A good soak wasn't too much of a price to pay for surviving a high-speed chase with a shadowy, memory-stealing monster. Daniel was so sure of this that he repeated it to himself over and over again as he sloshed his way along the long road home to Elm Lane. Their landing had been rough, to say the least. It was only due to Molly's extraordinary flying that they weren't impaled on a bunch of trees or flattened against a roof. As it was, she managed to steer their fall into Tangle Creek, skidding along the water's surface to slow their momentum until the only damage done was a record-setting splash into the water. All that was left was the walk home. Molly was so exhausted that she could barely even stand, much less fly, so Daniel helped her along, his good arm around her waist. The fact that she accepted his help at all was proof of just how worn out she was. With every step, dirty creek water squirted out of Daniel's sneakers. He looked down at his dripping cast and grimaced. Even if Daniel managed to make it home and into his bedroom without being noticed, even if he managed to hide his soggy clothes, the cast would be a dead giveaway. The mucky water of Tangle Creek had given the plaster a greenish tinge that would be impossible to hide. No matter what, his bad arm would rat him out. It took a while, but eventually his 1 foot in front of the other strategy paid off, and they made it back to Elm Lane. Although it was a good 2 hours past his curfew, Daniel wasn't surprised to find his parents waiting for him. Daniel had expected Molly to go straight home, as her parents were probably worried as well. But instead, she walked with him all the way to his front porch, where he found his father pacing back and forth. "Daniel," his father said. Daniel decided that a preemptive strategy would work best: throw himself at his father's feet and hope for mercy. "Dad, I'm sorry I'm so late, but Molly and I were taking a walk after dinner. We lost track of where we were." His father glanced at the children's damp clothing, their streaked, muddy faces. "A walk? Which lake were you walking in exactly?" "Well, like I said, we got a little lost." "Never mind about that now. Molly, you'd better run along home. Your parents are worried sick." Something in his dad's tone bothered Daniel. He seemed distracted and much, much too calm. He should have been furious with him. At that moment, Daniel's mother appeared on the door. Her eyes were bloodshot and her face puffy. She had been crying. "Mom," Daniel said, "I'm all right. I'm okay." "Oh, honey," she said, and then went back into the house. Daniel could hear her sobbing as she went up the stairs. Bewildered, he looked back to his father, who had put a hand on Daniel's shoulder. "Daniel, we need to talk. It's about your grandma." "What?" Daniel demanded. "What about her?" His earlier fear was gone, replaced by something fierce. He didn't even notice that he was practically shouting at his own father. "Daniel, she's gone." Daniel didn't hear what his father said after that. His world suddenly got very small, and the pounding of his own heart made him deaf to anything else. He turned back to Molly. Had she heard the same thing? Perhaps Daniel was imagining all of this, and Molly could simply punch him in the arm and tell him to snap out of it. But Molly wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. 1 minute she was right behind him, and the next minute she was gone. The next chapter is called Flowers and Casseroles.